up, guys? Welcome to Game of the Week. We're going to do a 2-in-1 this time. Game of the Week for week 14 and 15 here in the OMFL. Why do I get 2 for 1 today? Well, because we only got one game left in week 15, and we're going to be advancing here in the next probably, 3, 4, 5 hours, whatever it is. And I want to make sure I had them both out and you guys could check them out. So in weeks 14, I want to just take a look back that there were actually a couple of games I could have picked from. The overtime blunder by the refs, 24-21 victory over the New Orleans Saints from the Carolina Panthers was one that we could have picked. Then the San Francisco and Tampa Bay Buccaneers played to a barn burner, 34-31, as San Francisco comes away with one. That was a great game. And then, of course, you got the Arizona Cardinals and the Washington Redskins. Somehow, the 4-10 Cardinals come away with a 14-12 victory over the Washington Redskins. That could have been a game, but instead, for Week 14, I went with the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Tennessee Titans. Jacksonville comes away with a 27-26 victory in a much-needed win for the Tennessee Titans. They needed to come away with a victory here with this one, and they didn't, and their season pretty much wraps it up. Just taking a look at some stats here. 165 passing yards allowed by the Titans, 212 by the Jaguars, 175 on the ground allowed for the Jaguars, 132 for the Tennessee Titans. So both of these teams rushing the ball extremely well. 3 sacks for the Tennessee Titans, 2 turnovers for each team. So both of them were pretty even with that. Looking at some stats here, Goff, not too terribly bad, not too terribly good. 11 for 15, 197, 1 touchdown, pretty good. 2 interceptions, pretty bad. Yeldon played great, 12 for 111, a long of 75, but 3 touchdowns on the day. On the other side, Mariota played pretty well, 13-24, 212 and 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Murray had 4 carries, 83 yards, a long of 70 with a touchdown. Henry, 17 hard-fought yards for 17 carries for 86 hard-fought yards. No touchdowns on the day. Taylor had 2 touchdowns in the air with 4 receptions for Mariota. Westbrook pretty well for him. 3 receptions for 71 yards and the 1 touchdown. Looking at the defense, the interception came from Vickerson, and then the forced fumble came from Boue. Looking on the other side, Brown had 2 sacks. Jackson had an interception. Dodd had a sack, and then Ryan threw in another interception. A tough game for the Tennessee Titans at home. They needed that victory, but man, some way, somehow, the Jacksonville Jaguars keep their season alive. They keep their playoff hopes alive. They're pushing for that division title, but man, they're going to need some more games like this as they come away with a 27-26 victory over the Tennessee Titans. I don't seem to be having this brain function the way it needs to be functioning today. Let's move over to Week 15, the week that we're currently in. I had to go with the Washington Redskins and the Philadelphia Eagles. Man, the Philadelphia Eagles and Ziploc have had a tough season. He falls to 6-8 with a 15-13 loss at home against the Washington Redskins. Washington, who's been stumbling here in the second half of the season. If you want to hear us talk more about them, check out Press Pass Live. We do a whole segment on just the Washington Redskins, but some way they put it all together to come away with a much-needed victory here on the road as they are fighting for that wild card spot in the NFC. And with this victory, put themselves in the driver's seat. They only allowed 97 passing yards, only 72 rushing yards to the Eagles. On the other side, the Eagles allowed 203 passing yards, not too terrible, and only 65 rushing yards. The Eagles had 6 sacks. The Redskins had 5. This was a sack monster game. Lots of defense, lots of pressure. On third down, both teams did pretty good. 50% for the Eagles, 43% over here for the Washington Redskins. No turnovers this game, and only 1 little penalty for 8 yards for the Eagles. Breaking down some of these numbers, Dalton went 6 of 13 for 135 yards. Not a game that he's going to be known for. Sparks played really, really well. 17 of 20, 252 yards and 2 touchdowns. 16 carries for 74 yards, so not a bad day for Mixon, but Jones wasn't able to do anything. 6 carries for -9 yards. Gordon had a pretty decent day for the Eagles. 12 carries for 70 yards. Just want to see him get the ball a little bit more. Humphrey's not that great. 3 carries for only 10 yards. Not a whole lot to speak for in the Receiving stats for the Philadelphia Eagles: Allen, 2 receptions for 63 yards, no touchdowns. But man, Brooks doing what he's been doing all season long. 7 receptions for 107 yards and a touchdown. And even Watkins, a pretty good day. 4 receptions, 65 yards and a touchdown, as that focus has now turned away from Brooks as much. They're still feeding him the ball, but they're also starting to get it to some of their other playmakers. Allen with 2 sacks on the day, Lofton with 2 sacks on the day, Breeland with a sack. On the other side, Houston with 4 sacks. Lamar Houston is still getting it done for the Philadelphia Eagles. Hicks with a sack. Itachu with a sack. Probably didn't say that name right, but you get the picture. In some way, man, the Philadelphia Eagles fall to the Washington Redskins 15-13. Big win for the Washington Redskins. They needed that. Look for Philadelphia to regroup, get things back ready for season 77, and it should be a really good one. Thanks for tuning in for Game of the Week for weeks 14 and 15. We'll see you again next week. Peace out.